Hey everyone, welcome back to our 9th edition of Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews. And today we'll be reviewing Blackened Blended Bourbon. So let's talk a little bit about this product. So this is a collaboration between the band Metallica and master distiller Dave Pickerel. A little bit about Dave. He's coming from the David Random Fact Archive. He's a West Point graduate, played football at West Point, and had a pretty decent military career serving in the Army. And then after the Army, he became a consultant and started working for Maker's Mark Distillery. And he helped, over his 14 years at Maker's Mark, help make Maker's Mark the brand that it is today. So, very distinguished master distiller before creating this product. This released back in 2019, and unfortunately Mr. Pickerel passed away due to cardiac complications. But since then, this is a pretty popular product I'm seeing everywhere, and I think cool part of these reviews, we get to talk about craft bourbons such as this. So I guess what makes this so unique in terms of what their advertising. So what they say is part of the distilling process or the aging process for Blackened. They age it using low amplified sound waves within the warehouse. So from what I understand, everything I've read, they just blast Metallica music using the same low frequency subwoofers that you hear in Metallica's portfolio. I think part of the gimmick itself is this is batch 121. So each batch has its own Metallica Spotify playlist. So I think, I'm not quite sure, the science of how that actually works in terms of using low amplified subwoofers to help the aging process for the bourbon. But it sounds really cool. And in terms of gimmick marketing, you got me. I think it's definitely pull, obviously, with the notoriety of the band Metallica. So I think just their fan base itself really kind of helped push this product along. But so what this is a 90 proof blended bourbon. I know we've talked a little bit about blends. So again, this is a series or a few different whiskeys or bourbons put into a cask and aged together. And this is aged in black brandy cask. So I think this is going to, I've had this before, obviously, but this is definitely real fun tasting bourbon. It's a little bit something that's, off the beaten path. But let's go ahead, we'll open it up, we'll talk about it, and we'll give it a review. So again, since you can definitely smell a fruit presence, I think that's what comes to that blackened brandy casks. It's gonna be that more of the sweeter fruit side, not necessarily as that vanilla, cinnamon, nuanced rye. The mash bill is undisclosed, so again, we're not quite sure what is part of the blend of this bourbon, but nonetheless, this is again a pretty interesting product itself. So beautiful amber color. So again, the age is also undisclosed. If I had to guess, this is anywhere between a 4 and 6 year series of bourbons that's made part of this blend. It's nice copper color. It doesn't look too young, but I would say it's no more than 6 years. The nose, that fruit, I definitely smell an apricot, maybe like a berry, a blackberry, a raspberry. 90 proof. So you're not going to have too much of a kick on the alcohol, ethanol smell. It smells like almost like a liqueur. Just based, it doesn't really have that prevalence of the vanilla, again, brown sugar caramel that you get with most common bourbons, especially the ones that we have reviewed in the past. But let's go ahead and take our sip. Very smooth for it being maybe a younger bourbon. 90 proof, again, you're not going to have the real hit on it. Definitely taste maybe an apricot, berry. Kind of caramel comes in at the end, a little nuance, a little bit of spice, but Again, nothing too crazy. This is very pleasant, very fun. Bourbon, I think again that brandy casks finish really gives it a different flavor than what we're normally used to. But definitely very sweet, very easy drinking. Again, this if you're looking for something a little bit different than what we're normally used to. Again, this is a great craft bourbon. The price point, the MSRP is about $45. Again, not breaking the bank. I think this is definitely a solid pick for the price. And again, it's something a little different. And it's a little gimmicky, you know, we'll say the subwoofer aging process and it's Metallica. But I think, again, this is great. So we'll rate it. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. So if you get your hands on it, I suggest you get out there. But thanks again, and we'll talk soon.